What is up, the YouTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to do a quick video about HEX game theory and 80 quintillion hearts. I'm not even sure how to do this video because uh, you need to know so much in the crypto industry to sort of even grasp the concepts of this video. So hopefully only like blockchain people watch this video, because it takes too long to explain these game theory concepts about value and so on. But the basic idea here is, so people want to make more, right? People want to make more value. That's the main reason why people are in this industry, like ROI. And so what the HEX token sort of is trying to create in a game theory experiment. I only want to look at the game theory experiment because I'm fascinated about game theory. When something looks intelligent, sort of want to see what is going on here. So what fascinated me about Steam blockchain 2018 was the staking concept. That, oh, wait a sec, you can be an owner in a network and then you can get more value. And what we've seen with the Steam blockchain is a lot of people sort of feel pressure that they have to do 10 votes a day, and Avalon blockchain is sort of fixing this in many ways, because you can set it and forget it. Like if you have stake, it goes up forever, your voting power, and then you can vote when you want to. So people are sort of seeing that people want these digital systems, set it and forget it. And how the HEX token, how they want to do it is, the first year they have a lot of inflation on the new tokens, but they only want to pay stakers. Longer pays better and bigger pays better. And the idea is, uses all the new tokens that launch the first year, a lot of tokens, and then the next years you have this slower inflation rate. And the idea, the game theory idea behind the HEX token is, okay, if you stake longer, you get paid more, right? So it is, and you look at most other sort of tokens, and one big problem with many tokens is that people can dump super quick on someone, and you don't know when people are going to dump. The core idea here is you're trying to create a game theory concept where people can see when other people are coming out of stake and when they're going to dump coins on the market. So that may make it more stable, or at least you can see when a dump is coming or when someone is going out of stake. They can still have like liquid HEX tokens, and of course those they can dump whenever they want. But if you have a large supply that is staked, and now I mean like with these other networks, maybe Steam blockchain, it's not like we have like 95% of the tokens, Steam tokens, staked. But if you, in theory, have it a concept where a lot of people want to FOMO into sort of stake because they want to get the interest, and maybe if 90% staked of a coin, game theory wise, it would be interesting to see how much value that would have on the market, to sort of to sort of see, someone is talking to me, to sort of see, game theory wise, it doesn't seem like someone has tried this before, where you have this many tokens staked. And we don't even know if people are going to stake 90% of the tokens, but you can only get like the interest, and the longer pays better and bigger pays better, and those extra years of stake rewards, you can only get them if you stake, right? So the idea is, okay, almost every year you stake an extra 20% extra, and the numbers gets like quite complex, right? But and then the idea here is also that they're using Ethereum, so they piggyback on Ethereum for proof of work, and then they're using stake to create interest for people. And if you just look at this, if you haven't gone hours into sort of considering different concepts, then this may be very, very hard to grasp. So game theory wise, you sort of want to create something. You want to create the certificate of deposits. It's sort of like a saving system, but for the blockchain system. Because I mean, just as in traditional banking, if you want to save value, if you go into a bank and see how much, if you lock up your money, you get like a super low interest fee, and it's like they don't want you to save money, so it's kind of weird. So it's kind of interesting if you would be able to create the ultimate savings machine on a blockchain, and have that transparent. What would that sort of how would that experiment sort of play out, and that you have the massive pump but without the massive dump, because people are earning interest, and that people can't really do this with Bitcoin. When they can do it, or if you're holding Bitcoin, you still get inflation, but you're not getting paid inflation because it's going to the miners that is basically dumping all the time to pay for electricity. But here, maybe you don't need to so much dumping because the stakers don't have to really pay for anything, because you're already running proof of work on Ethereum, and Ethereum is like the second largest network or something like that. I mean, it is game theory wise, it is kind of, I'm curious about. I have only been in this industry for 2 years, so I barely know anything. I am interested in expanding my borders of ignorance and sort of trying to learn more. And there's always new things going on in this space. It almost seems like this year there was some amazing stuff that came out that didn't exist last year. And we're probably going to keep seeing that, like new stuff coming up in 2020s that may do something better or something new. So this is a very young industry. So game theory wise, Avalon blockchain, I mean, I'm like super curious how that can sort of play out. And looking at these other game theory systems is interesting. It's interesting because I want to study success projects and failure projects, and we have seen so much stuff fail the last year, and eventually you're probably gonna have some things that also gonna succeed, and it's always interesting to sort of dive deeper into that, and dive deeper into the nuances of that, and dive deeper into nuances of ideas, and how will the ultimate value system be, and can you create value super fast? Yes, people have done that with Binance Coin, Ethereum Coin, with Bitcoin, and some other coins, but a lot of them did not retain the value. And it's kind of interesting if you, in theory, had some kind of try to make a game theory system where people don't dump, but when people just want to stake and lock up forever and reduce the supply, how can that in theory play out? And in theory, can you get ads for that, and makes it so people get addicted to saving value and make it as easy as possible for people to understand? And yeah, so it's like we're gonna have a bunch of these different experiments coming out where people are gonna learn from them. They can learn from it if it's a failure, they can learn if it's a success, and it's really important to look at it from the nuanced perspectives. Uh, I mainly focused on ideas, and I'm curious because many times I try to look at if people like debate something, it's usually one side that tries to attack the person, and the other side just tries to talk about the idea. And I'm mainly curious about the ideas, especially now because it's like interesting where society is going into, where the sanctity of authority will be questioned. We have a bunch of banks in Europe that basically launder money, and there's basically no accountability in the current systems. So how much worse can it really get? Shouldn't humans try to invent something new, or try to use some smart contracts, use more game theory, try to do some trustless systems. And even if a lot of stuff is going to fail, eventually we're probably going to have some things that are going to succeed. And it's going to be interesting to sort of see how that can play out. So, as I said, I mean, I'm mainly interested in the game theory, and if you can make systems that really makes people that really want to save value, if you can make those systems work, it's fascinating. Like, I'm so fascinated about intelligence and people that are have the intelligence to try to look at ideas and try to see, okay, is this person trying to be genuine, and where are they coming from? And a lot of people are just trying to look at it from, like, they obsess about some ones and zeros here and there. And I mean, we're moving into a very interesting phase as a society where, and I think a lot of people have realized this, like, some people are super obsessed about how much value someone else has, and it's kind of weird in many ways. It's kind of strange. So so it's going to be interesting to see how this sort of industry plays out. And as I said, I mean, there's going to be a lot of failures, a lot of success, and there's going to be a lot of confusion, okay? Because there's a lot of things going on. Like, people have to think for themselves. They have tried to use their own intelligence and try to grasp sort of concepts. So this concept of staking to earn interest is interesting because banks are already doing that, but they are a third party and they are a authority that can just, fuck people over. So it's interesting to try to do this in a trustless way. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit quick